Well, you have to. What do
Funny,
you got? What do you got on?
they legalize medicinal cannabis, and then they don't fucking make it
What the
okay to
fuck up?
drive.
Yeah, yeah. How fucked is that? Plus, I mean, seriously, when you drive stoned, you're doing 20.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you going to like? Like you're doing 20, mate. It's like, come on.
Yeah,
Yeah, for us, we're going
the
in second
government wants
gear.
everyone to slow down whilst driving. Just get everyone stoned.
Yeah, yeah. That'll learn 'em.
Oh yeah, nah, this is Rousey's Wrexham Roundup. She'll be right, mate. G'day, listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Rousey's Wrexham Roundup. I've got a special one for you today because I'm joined by another Aussie, and some of you may have listened to him on previous works like Teach Me How to Wrexham and seen him pop up on Ask Wrexham because he's a fan favorite of good old Mark Griffiths. We love him here on this channel, but I bring to you guys today he is the white-haired god himself, Mr.
Silver.
Cryptic Construct.
Silver, white. It's a matter of opinion. At least it's there. So,
Mate,
yeah.
welcome to the show. How are you today, mate?
Thank you, Rousey. I am very well, mate. I am very well. It's Easter Monday holiday down under. How can you not be happy? 4 day
Mate,
weekend. I mean, you could be happier with God Friday. And now we're all worried about tonight, and that's 9 hours away, 8 hours away. So
yeah, it all
yeah,
rests on tonight, doesn't it?
it,
We need Wrexham to win, and we need Wickham to drop points again, set the table correctly, I think, because
yeah,
fucking hell, man, it's getting really stressful. I still think they'll do it, but after what we witnessed on the weekend, um, I see the
it.
thing is, I don't think it was a bad game. It was a good game to watch, but my gosh, we should have beat them.
We should have. Yeah, we're just not clinical in the final third though at the moment, and we don't seem to have a lot of fluidity between the middle and final third either. So it's going to be a tough match. Blackpool haven't lost at home in a long time, so it's going to be hard. We need to win and not be. I don't think a draw is going to be anywhere near good enough unless Charlton do Wickham a number. And even then, that means we
But
then have Charlton, so
the only
it makes that
scenario,
hard.
I think the only scenario it works for a Charlton for us to get promoted at Charlton would be if we draw and Wickham draw, or we draw and Wickham lose points.
Yeah,
Then we have to go and have a win. In either of those two circumstances, we have to have a win at Charlton to get promoted at our home ground. Otherwise, it's
yeah.
going to the final day. I
It's
mean,
going to Lincoln. Yeah, yeah. Well, even
with
if we
bum
beat,
time.
even then, I don't think it'd be settled until Lincoln because you've still got the Wickham unless they lose again. So it's just, it's gone from so hopeful and positive 2 weeks ago to, Jesus, what the fuck happened? I mean, it was just, and I guess it has been coming for a little while. And the injury to O'Connell is just going to, some people bag him, but I think he's okay. He's got the mistake in him. Everyone has, but he's been a very solid defender, and we are going to miss him. It doesn't look like he'll be back. I wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah, could be Scar
Mhm.
in the lineup tonight. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's going to be an interesting one. I didn't actually think about that because now we're going to have a different back line.
hmm
And let's be fair. I mean, the goal that we let through against Blackpool, not Blackpool, fuck 'em. See, my
Bristol.
mind's already
Yeah,
thinking
Black.
ahead. But the goal we let through against Bristol Rovers was
Mm,
poor.
mm.
We've never
Yeah.
ever in all our season I've seen let someone that free in the box to get the head across.
I don't
Someone's
think.
always got them covered.
I think recently though they have we have been open from those crosses at the corners especially that they've been able to block Rodriguez and O'Connell but now Scar out. So they missed Palmer back there because he was a good defender despite being a centre. He went back and did his job with the head when needed. So it's going to be it's now a tough 3 matches, and I'm now worried. I'm officially now shitting myself. So because the playoffs, that would be such a letdown to get. I mean, at the start of the season you would have taken it, but where we are today, it'd be such a letdown, and we'll be on the downward slope and others on the up. So yeah, it's yep.
Football is a very interesting game, and I keep saying this to a lot of people is that still anything can happen.
Mm.
We didn't do ourselves justice by pulling off a draw, but it's not the end of the world, and we can still pull
No,
it back. I mean, they're only 1 point ahead.
yeah,
So if they
but you
drop
only need
points
to.
and we draw,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
we're equal with them, right? And then
But
if
but
they
they'll have the goal
draw
difference.
and then we win tonight, both for some reason, we'll be 2 points up.
Yeah, yeah.
Going into a Charlton game where we're going to need to be more than 3 points up to secure promotion, that could be interesting to say the least. It's going to be
Oh,
different. But you're from down under like me, and we have to often get up early, watch matches late at night. Whereabouts are you from?
I'm from Melbourne, but I'm now in Tasmania, so I'm what, two
Tasmania.
hours ahead of you at the moment. But then when the daylight savings, it was 3 hours, and then back to two, and so yeah, I'm a midnight tonight and midnight next week
Why
as well.
Tassie?
So clean green, cheap. When we moved down 20 years ago, I've had a cousin or an uncle. My dad's brother moved down here 50, 60 years ago now. And so little bit of a family connection down here already, but it was cheap at work. Not that I had a job when we came here, but yeah, we were living in Melbourne, and the house we were renting was up for sale for 750 or something. And this is back 2000, and just
See,
thought, no, we
it's the forgotten Tassie is the forgotten Australian state.
yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
often gets left out of the
Well,
conversation.
Well, given, I mean, I do IT, and at the time they were looking at doing the rollout down here first, which they did the ambient rollout first. So it meant there was some IT work down here. It meant you could still work remotely. You can do stuff like this. You don't have to be living in Melbourne. And so, yeah, cheap and clean and green. So we're in the Derwent Valley, and we came down originally with 40 acres, and a beautiful half pasture, half bush, a little creek at the bottom, very nice, but too far from the coffee shop. So we ended up in town, and now we're in town of 7,000. Half an hour out of Hobart, so perfect.
Ah, right. Well, we're going to get on to that. We definitely because we got a lot to talk about with Wrexham coming to Australia,
And
um,
New Zealand, and New Zealand.
and New Zealand, which is an
Don't forget
interesting
our little
one.
Kiwi cousins.
Yeah. Oh, well, they go sheep shaggers, mate. They go where they
I
want. They know their own kind.
know, and they know what they are. Ah,
So, but okay, so this is what I'm trying to get my head around is that the amount of people that are freaking out, regardless of how we do, right? We've overachieved this season in League One
yeah, yeah.
beyond what anyone had ever predicted, bar the two bids channel, where we predicted second spot.
Of course.
um, it goes without saying that worldwide, I think quite a few fans would be pretty happy with where we if we finished in seventh or eighth this season. But I think probably the fact that are in second, that we can get that promotion now that's ramped up. But I tell you what, it feels like last season all over again. It really does. And
Well,
and
I think it feels like the season could be like a drawn match. Is it a draw that's a win or a draw that's a loss? And if we end up in playoffs, that's a draw that's a loss.
mm,
Given where we were, I mean, given at the start of the season, you would have taken it with your arm, I would have bitten your arm off for it. But given where we were 3 weeks ago, you you don't want to end the season on a down, and we certainly are at the moment with injuries and form, and that leaves a bad taste going into the off season. So you just like to see them at least put in some effort and show a
mm.
bit of spirit, and hopefully win at Blackpool,
Those bloody
and put all this behind
relegation
us.
teams,
But
though, man, they're a pain in the ass.
we
Every
just
single
haven't put the.
season, they've
Mm.
been a pain in the ass.
We haven't flushed the shit teams away, have we? I mean, we've fallen to their level and just, played a little bit crap and just sat back a bit and not attacked well against the shit teams parking the bus.
Mm.
We haven't been patient enough, or we haven't had the class or the skill to get that final ball in. And I I think injuries have called us at the wrong time. We didn't get a Lee upgrade replacement second. Um, and then losing Cannon and now O'Connell is, given that the back line was our strength, it's going to be a tough 3 weeks.
Yeah. It's going to be I keep on saying it, put your balls in your hand and give it a good squeeze because it's really going to be tight. And I think there's a few more twists and turns to come. We've got
Or once you've let go of the balls in the hand with the twisting and the turning, haven't you? Or is that now
nah,
you,
nah,
no, no, still right. Okay.
you just got to twist it all the
And
whole
turning
time.
and
Just got to go for it. Just give it a good old pull. I'm just like, I don't know, man. When I predicted that we'd finish second, I was, I think at the time I was being overly optimistic, but then
yeah.
that it actually started happening, and now the excitement of actually being automatically promoted, which is still possible,
Oh,
still very much
mm-mm.
possible because
Yeah.
you've got some very tough teams coming up for Wickham. They still have to face Charlton, they still have to face Stockport, and
And,
it could very
and you've
well
got to
come
say,
down to the final
if they
game.
do make it, they deserve it. If they
Mm.
manage to beat the next, their run, and we've failed to beat, Bristol Rovers, then they deserve it. And the, the ladder is what it is. The table is what it is for a reason. So, yeah, hopefully they don't deserve it and we get up. But if they do win, you can't deny them that they've certainly had a great bloody year. And if they're, we could have and should have. So that's why I think where we were 2 weeks ago, a month ago, you would you would hope we would be in a better position than where we are today. Uh, yeah.
I completely agree. I completely agree. So we just gotta finish it off, and I think like every fan base around the world right now is probably feeling the same way.
Oh yeah.
We're all feeling this way, and whether you're based in Wrexham or whether you're based in North America or Australia, or if you're Kiwi or Tasmanian, everyone feels the same damn way, and
Yeah.
we're all hoping on a prayer that, some results will go our way. And I do think it will. I think it will. Because,
Mm-mm.
in all fairness, Wickham look a little bit shaky. They've just been grabbing some very last minute goals.
Yeah.
And to come up against, who are they up against? They're up against Charlton tonight, aren't they?
Charlton. Yeah.
So,
And then they've got who they got? They got a couple of Stockport and Leighton, is it? Their
yeah.
next sort of matches. Yeah. So, and they at the moment have something to play for. Now, whether Stockport in the last, rest their team and are just playing for the playoffs, we'll wait and see. But at the moment, Leighton and Charlton have both got something to play for. So, hopefully they can do us a favour and I'd like to see a couple of big red cards as well. So that then they're suspended. Like if Charlton lost two, three, four players to red cards.
Yeah.
So, have you seen the ref that we've got for tonight's match?
I did see them either way from Wrexham Post.
So we haven't won in five. He's given what, four penalties away, and we've had what, three red cards or some shit in 5 matches. Like, oh no, you can just see that we may end up with 8 players. I wonder what the minimum number of players is
It's
you
like
can have.
Pikachus, mate. You got to collect them all.
Mm.
Just get
Who will
yeah,
be first?
get old Jimmy McLean out there and just get him to give him some shit.
Does he start after I mean last week Parky went the attacking option, didn't he? And that I wasn't
Mm.
sold on Longman last week. I didn't think he may have got a couple of crosses in, but I didn't think he did really enough. But then
I
would
think
McLean have done much better? But
Longman, but Barnett had a shocker for me. That he
yeah,
played a shocking game, and Longman I thought played really well, but his crosses into the box need work.
yeah,
That's where his game is letting him down, is his crosses into the box. Occasionally he puts it on a dime, um, but generally his build up play is exceptional. The way he runs at his defenders, and he's able to switch and cross into the middle real quick.
yeah,
But just his final finishing, getting it into the box, getting it onto someone's head, it's either too low or too high. It's never just spot on. And he's had a few instances where it has been, but I think we need to admit the fact that he probably needs a little bit of work there, but it's coming. We're in a good preseason with us, and he'll
Mm.
be. I mean, he's a
Yeah, some of
championship
that
type
though
player.
has been the forwards' fault too. You know, Smith and Rodriguez, you got a new forward pair,
Mm.
and so that must cause some misunderstanding between them all as they're trying to, okay, where do I put the ball? When are you going to be there to hit the ball? That type of thing. So they need to, learn each other's game a bit more. Maybe that comes next year, but geez, you just hope it come this week and they can get two or three past
If there's
Blackpool.
ever a time to pull it together, it's now.
Please tonight,
Just
please
pull it
tonight.
together,
Yeah.
boys. Just do us a favor and just get on with it.
We're all rooting for you. Oh, doesn't that get you as an Aussie when you hear that word? I mean, I'm assuming rooting means the same over in the West as it does in
Yeah,
the
no,
East.
it does.
Yeah, it
It
does.
does.
Yeah, yeah.
I keep hearing it, and I keep hearing the Yanks use it a lot, and you're just like, dude, do you
Yeah,
know what that
yeah.
means?
Uh,
Oh man, for those of my Aussie audience, and I've got quite a few out there at the moment. We have had an influx of North American subscribers over the last couple of weeks. Um, Rooting means to get fucked, have a bit of intercourse. That's the Aussie thing. So when an Aussie comes at you and says, "Oh, hey, you want to root?" That's that's what it
He's not.
means.
He's not talking about a parsnip or a, well, he might be that. Hey, if that's your thing, you never know. I don't want to discriminate against people who like parsnips, but
No, it definitely means the same over here. You may
Mm,
be
mm.
disconnected from the rest of Australia, but you still talk the same. But hey, we're going to be, in my opinion, I think we're going to do it still. I think we are going to get second. It's going to be nail biting. How are you feeling about this? Do you think that we're going to do it as well? Do you think that we might have to prepare ourselves for the dreaded P word?
Yeah, I think Parky's press conference at the end of last week was a bit like that too. And now whether that's maybe he's downplaying expectations or managing expectations, and whether that was for our benefit or the players too. That okay, pressure off a bit that we're no longer expected to make second. So go out there and let's just have fun, so to speak, rather than worry about the pressure of second. Um, there might be a bit of psychology going on to try to get them to relax a bit because we seem to play better when we're hunting rather than hunted. So maybe this is the kick up the arse that we needed to to come out and play well and play with that bit of freedom. And you're not going to win if you're not prepared to lose. You know, unless you get those late arsey goals that we have occasionally, or we got enough 1-0 wins this year that we have, managed to get those goals. But when those ones aren't coming, we don't seem to be able to score two or three to be able to, recover from the, shit defense or, like some of the arsey goals that have been scored against us. So, yeah, I'm less hopeful. We're playoff minimum. We can't drop off the playoffs, but I worry that they're on that downward slope. Now I love it that tonight. Hey, fuck! I hope I wake the house. I really hope I wake the house at 1 o'clock. So I'm hoping for a win, but we do. There's not many games left now, so unless stuff really does go our way, we need 3 points tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We do need 3 points. We
Mm.
need 3 points, and we need Wickham to drop. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
again, the last thing we want is Wickham to win because that changes everything. If we can win tonight, the last couple games, it just changes everything for us because Wickham are already a point ahead. And if
Mm.
we win and they win, they're still a point ahead, which means we can't possibly get promoted at home next week unless unless Wickham. No,
No, I
Wickham
don't think
won't
that's.
because we'll still be,
Mm,
yeah, the
yeah,
mathematically it'll be fucked.
I think you'd forget about where we get promoted, just make sure we get promoted. So we still
Yeah.
could, with the Wickham win tonight, we are
I
still
just
1 point
wanted to
behind. And
happen
then
at
they lose their last two, but,
I just want it
we've
to
got
happen at
points.
Charlton because I want the
Yeah,
fans to rush the
to
pitch and
get it. Yeah, yeah.
I want to watch that happen live, but it's not going to
Yeah,
happen again. Yeah.
again, that has been so emotional watching that live 2 years, I got to say.
Yeah.
Um, 2 years in a row. But yeah, I don't think they'll be disappointed if they. I mean, they will be if they have to wait till Lincoln. But you're not going to not take it if you have to wait till Lincoln.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, where can we do? What would you change the team up today? I mean, look, I liked Elliot Lee starting last week, and I thought he really brought something different to the team.
Yeah,
I think he needs
it's
to start.
he does, doesn't he? But then do they, they drop James back deep, but without Cannon as that second, I wonder, do they put McLean in midfield as well with Lee? That'd be interesting. Then you could have Longman and Barney going, McLean and Lee in the middle, and the Rodriguez debate is so interesting, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen some really good stuff, and there are people who say, and you can see what he does off the ball as well. He's putting a lot of work in, but do you need more of a return? And he did some wonderful, he did have some wonderful touches last week or the other day against Bristol. But
totally agree with you on that one. I think
it's
he had some
yeah,
amazing. He's
mm.
displayed some amazing football um,
But
since he's been with us, but he's made a few mistakes here and there, and he hasn't obviously had that
linked
convert to
up.
the goal
Mm.
sheet very much. I think most people are still hung up on the shit penalty he took, but hey,
Yeah,
he's still chased it down and scored it. Damn it, so it counts.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But look, I think the whole Rodriguez debate for me, I personally like the guy. I think he's awesome. I think he deserves a spot in the team. The Smith Rodriguez pairing I like, but I would like to see Rodriguez actually play more of the number 10 role, be a bit more further up front, work off Smith a little bit rather than having to feel the need to drop back deep and be a little bit more
Mm.
defensive all the
I-
time.
But I guess that's the Lee conundrum, and you've got to wonder, is he following Parky orders? Because if he's not, I don't imagine he'd be playing. So
Mm,
where he is at the moment, you've got to assume he's doing what he's told. You've got to assume that. I mean, he's not going
yeah,
out there and disobeying Parky. One would assume. Um, and so, remember, we started the year with Lee playing that false, sitting behind the striker and off the striker between the mids. And I wonder whether he's put Rodriguez in that position, that same position that you're not. It's not the standard two up front. It is one up front and one behind, helping that link play between the mids and the forwards. Yeah, 'cause I would have thought that if he wasn't following orders, he wouldn't be playing.
you
But
know what? That's a really good take. Red hot take from the old cryptic construct. I tell you what, I quite like that. That's pretty good because you would think that he keeps getting put back in the team. So obviously he's doing something that Parky likes. So we'll just go with that. So
But then there are people who say, you see online, he's on 15K a week and he's probably got in his contract that he can't be dropped.
yeah,
What? Like that's something you can have in a contract that you can't be dropped? I can't imagine. Like he gets given a contract. I don't imagine he's then inserting clauses, I can't be dropped, and
yeah.
Parky's going to sign off on that. That I
And
would
then
have
the
thought he'd
Parky
still.
Out Brigade comes out. And now
Mm,
this is the thing
mm,
about the Parky Out Brigade, right? Or they could shard, or Parky could just drop a shard, and they'll be like, "No, how dare you brown your pants? Get out!"
yeah,
Right? He does anything. He breathes funny. Get
yeah,
out.
yeah.
But it's like some people just can't be happy with the style of play, and they don't
No,
understand that this ain't National League.
yeah,
This is
yeah,
League One now. We're getting serious. Goals are hard to
yeah,
come by in when you go League One, Championship, Prem.
yeah.
Goals are very hard to come by. Uh, Eking
But
out 1-0 wins is actually
you,
pretty damn good.
you as a Freo supporter would remember Ross Lyon. And
Oh fuck.
like, yeah. So where I'm going with that is you do need to go. I mean, yes, you need to defend, absolutely, zero doubt about it. And championships are won on defense. But when you've got the ball, you've got to be able to attack. And what that method or what that attack look like and how what you do with it, that's up to you. But you need to have something that you're planning on doing. And we just whether we're not doing it well, and there are passes that are just we just seem to be off passes, a bit ahead, a bit behind. It can be the grounds are chopped up. It's hard for them to have gelled and know exactly where each other's going to be. And I think we miss Cannon too. In that midfield, running the ball between the lines because we just don't seem to be able to get the ball at the feet of the strikers at the moment. So interesting to see what they do. They've had a couple of days to think about it, and they obviously know the situation. So yeah, but I don't see wholesale changes. Scar obviously because we're not going to see O'Connell again, which means maybe O'Connor on the bench because he hasn't been. Um, yeah, I would have thought Lee and James and who's the other mid? Is it Dobson? Is it
Well, I mean, Matty James had the only goal. Hey, get this
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I was watching that game and watch where we are in the hills of in Perth. I was watching the game late at night and it was a little bit windy outside.
Late at night, it's like 10 o'clock at night, yeah? Not
Uh,
midnight because you're on the West Coast. So it was
oh,
the sun had
fucking
just
cry me a
set. The
river.
sun had just set. So, okay. 48 degrees. The sun's just got down. You got one of them swan beers in hand. Right. Okay. Set the scene. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, we were watching the game, and then right as the goal was about to score, I shit you not, the cross came in. We saw it going towards Matty James. Power cut.
Oh.
Lost everything. No internet, nothing. And
Ah.
because normally I was watching the game with my lovely mum, and we would just looked at each other and said, "Did that just fucking happen?"
Right then, not in the middle of
Right
nothing.
now, like
Yeah.
just as we're getting back into the fight. And it looked like we were doing really, really well. And I thought, geez, we could come back and get another, and we're going to
Yeah,
miss
yeah.
it. And then we get the notification on the phone, oh, power won't be restored until 7 o'clock in the morning. You're just like, for fuck's sake. I actually missed the whole from about 76 minutes onwards. I missed that whole
Oh,
lot.
okay.
So
You
I
don't
don't know
have
what I missed out on.
the app on the phone, but then if you log into bloody iFollow on the phone and then fucks up your computer for the next match that you can't, oh, isn't that a kerfuffle and a half? So
Oh, it is
mm,
because as soon
oh,
as you, because the computer thought I was logged on, still, or the iFollow fucked up
yep,
system
yep,
thinks you
yep,
logged
yep,
on. You try logging on your phone, it won't register that you've got a subscription.
yep,
You're
yep.
just like, fuck, you have to go back in, log out of that app, and then go back into a new one and then reopen it. But we
And
couldn't do that because
and then hope that that works because once you do that, then it won't work on the original device ever again until
yeah,
you contact iFollow and they reset. Oh, it's a
iFollow
shitty
really need to
system.
fix
So
that shit.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But
I
it could be
don't think.
worse, could be being sports.
Yeah. God, you've had to having to get the bloody sub for that for the cup, the FA Cup was on BN, wasn't it?
Oh, mate, being sports is total ass,
Uh,
mate. It's the
I've
worst fucking platform I
yeah,
think I've ever seen.
I've had to
They
get the weekly sub for when Wrexham were in the FA Cup. I'm sure it was BN. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Bastards.
I would actually resort to watching or getting one of my Patreon members, one of Rousey's Rowdy Army, shout out.
Yeah,
I'd get one of them to stream the game because it'd be a lot better than watching shit on beIN. Fuck me
yeah,
dead.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So anyway, look, after this, we're going to talk a bit about Wrexham to Australia. So guys, enjoy your Ned's bet, enjoy whatever it is. Ads are coming up in your local podcast listening device. And we will talk about Wrexham to Australia coming up next.
Wrexham
Be a good
down
one.
under.
Oh yeah, nah, this is Rousey's Wrexham Roundup. She'll be right, mate. Okay, welcome back. I am joined here by the Mystic Made Cryptic Construct, mate. We're Aussies. If you can't tell by our luxurious accents that the world apparently loves, get that in ya. Um, we uh, we were treated with some delightful news that Wrexham might be coming down under. Um, Interesting one. What's your take?
Still only a leak at the moment, isn't it, from the Victorian government?
Well,
That
apparently it's
they've
locked
paid.
in Melbourne. Apparently.
Yeah, but until it, Yeah, I mean obviously signed a contract, but until they're here, until it's actually because what happens with the playoffs, I can't imagine it's going if we're in the playoffs, it'll put that back because that's meant to be what July 12th for Melbourne. Um, but you'd love to hear from Wrexham, the club, what they're doing. But yeah, the leak from the Vic government is July 12th at Marvel Stadium. They're obviously paying the money for the stadium, paying the money to get them out here,
Mate, do you
and you'd
like how
assume.
Melbourne had to be the ones to get in first, even though they're in talks with
Yeah,
Sydney and
mate,
Perth and Auckland?
I'm from Melbourne, mate. No, no, we are the sporting capital of the universe,
Mate,
mate. So shit like that's going to happen. I mean, you're in Perth. You're the most isolated capital in the world. We're the most sportiest capital in the world. So, yeah, no surprise Melbourne went first, But yeah, what Perth, Melbourne, Sydney, Auckland. So you'll wonder, are they going to do it in that order? Do they fly into Perth? Are they flying out of Perth? Do they fly in or out of Melbourne, Sydney, the normal places you'd fly in or out of for Melbourne? But I guess Perth has a bit of an international connection with Britain, and so they can get that single flight now too. So whether they do that, it's going to be a in, interesting logistical process that they go through because you
mm.
don't want to be doing what they did 2 years ago in America, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, boom, home.
I
They
I
wouldn't want to
I
do
don't know
that.
which way they're going to do it. Like,
Mm.
because Melbourne obviously jumped in first, but they're not going to fly into Melbourne because there's no direct flights there. I mean, you look at flying to Sydney.
Direct's only going to be Perth to London. The
Yeah,
other directs that you can every other one's going to have a stop somewhere, and you can fly direct from Dubai or wherever, Singapore to Melbourne or Sydney. They're both major international airports. I got to stick up for Melbourne here. Um, you could fly into either, and just because Melbourne got in and announced the date first doesn't mean that that's the first date.
that's true.
It just meant
That's
that's the
true.
first
Yeah.
one announced. It may well be the last match. We don't know yet. That's why we got to wait for the club or for the other states to go, yeah, we chipped in, or for New Zealand to go, yeah, we paid 1 million too. Because if they go over to New Zealand, that's another 2 hours. So do they start there or do they come into Melbourne, Sydney, do that, do Auckland, go to Perth, go home?
Well, it's an
And
8 hour flight from Auckland to Perth. That's a long bloody flight.
yeah, yeah. But then it
Mm,
breaks up. I'm guessing it breaks
mm,
up. And again, I don't know how many direct ones there are of that. It breaks up the go home leg. So
yeah.
it is, yeah. And given I'm not wearing it, but the uni TED, they're not going to go via the States, are they? You'd imagine you wouldn't want to see James McLean going through their border stuff at the moment. You don't imagine he'd come out. Um, so yeah, you got to imagine they're going to be coming through the Middle East. I would have thought to get here, and so that then does open up Perth, Sydney, Melbourne as where they come in and out of.
Yeah. My
But
hope
don't
is it'll
screw it
be
up.
Perth first. Get Perth out of the
Mm.
way, fly across, do all your close states, and then finish up in Auckland, head home. That's what I
Yeah,
think might happen.
or you could go Melbourne, Auckland,
Mm,
Sydney, and fly out of Sydney. The bigger ones because it's interesting, but great to see them here. It's going to be so much fun for the fans, for the new fans, how many people are going to come out? But it's middle of winter, but Perth
mm.
in the middle. What's Perth like in middle of July?
Um, it's coolish, but not overly wet.
But what's
So
coolish for you?
it's
Coolish for Perth's what, 25?
yeah, around about that.
Which is quite warm for anyone else in Britain. Like 25. That's cool, 25. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. And
That's
where,
what, whenever we get any POMs or anything come over, and they're always and they come over in the middle of winter, and it's still like sunny out, and there's like barely any clouds, and
yeah,
it's just a
yeah.
bit chilly, and they're like, "Oh, this I can't don't know how you put up with this heat." I think it's not even hot.
It's a winter, mate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is what one reason I'm sort of glad they're not going way up north to Brisbane or Cairns, and it sounds like they're keeping low, not getting the humidity. So hopefully that'll help them. But you'd imagine they've learnt lessons from the American trip. So
Mm.
it'd be interesting to see how they implement them.
Yeah, I mean
And look,
they did how many games? Was it 3 or 4 games last season? So
yeah.
roughly they're probably going to be doing the same amount coming over. So maybe they are waiting to see if they finish in the playoffs or not to determine what dates they lock in.
I
But then
wouldn't have thought.
again, they could be discussing with the clubs and still trying to lock in dates because you're
Yep.
talking about the middle of the AFL season. So holding games on the weekend could be quite tough.
Getting the
Uh,
grounds.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But
So
then Sydney's got AF football stadium, the Sydney football stadium, as in soccer, and which I'm surprised we haven't played this match at Amy Park, which is one of the soccer grounds in Melbourne, but it may only hold 30, 35 compared to 50 at Marvel. Plus, Marvel sounds so good. You wonder how much Marvel are paying to bring them out as well and play at
I
Marvel
mean, you
Stadium.
couldn't ask for it to be any fucking made up for it, could you? I mean, Marvel, Deadpool, all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff. I
yeah,
mean, that's why that was done. We all know it.
yeah, yeah.
But when they're coming over to Perth, I mean, we've got Optus Stadium, which is a big 60,000 seat stadium. Um, but, and look, I don't know if it'll be played there because that will be in the middle of the season unless
Mm.
they're playing it on a weekday, or they'll be playing a HBF, which is where Perth Glory play. But here's the thing: state of Australian football, well, soccer. We're talking about the true foot to ball game. Um, it's kind of all over the place at the moment.
Yeah.
Perth Glory are really falling apart. Something shocking. Um, Melbourne Victory are kind of a bit stagnant at the moment. Melbourne City. I know they've just brought in Auckland into the series as well. Um, but the whole state, it's not very popular. It's not the whole A League system is weird. And then they try and bring in a championship to actually, bring in more eyes, bring in lower, bring in new teams into the game, all that. But instead of doing and I know me and Adrian had a really big backwards and forwards of this, instead of doing promotion relegation,
Hmm.
you're just doing another tournament.
Yep.
Like you, and this is the thing, you're going to bring in a team like Wrexham that has massive global eyes. You're bringing in teams like your Real Madrids, your Manchester Uniteds. They all come down here to do preseason tours, all that sort of stuff to build their fan bases. But all it's really doing is showcasing how shit Australian football is because it's atrocious. It is absolutely atrocious, and something needs to be done about it. And all
I
that
guess.
needs to be done is promotion, relegation.
Yep.
Have your fucking teams from down the road, your Barry's, Billy Bob's, or some fucking thing, have a chance of actually working their way
Getting
up.
there. Yeah.
People
But it's a
get
bit like
behind it.
big. It's though it's like the NFL, isn't it? The clubs don't want to be dropping out. Or like the MSL, the clubs don't want to be dropping out because they're a franchise rather than a community club, and that's the problem with as you say, the soccer league at the moment. That there's no swapping out of that league, and so you can be shit and stay in there, or be badly managed and stay in there, and you're guaranteed. It's not a great deal of money, but you're guaranteed to play, TV money and those types of things. So yeah, it needs to happen. Will it? I don't think it will unless there's another restructure of Australian football, and they've had so many over the past 40, 50 years. Trying to
Mm,
get the culture right, trying to get the comps right, and as you say, just having another cup comp isn't really the same as a proper pro rel into the major league. But because it was set up with all the disparate states, there was they're going to need to start again, I think, and that is somebody with a shitload of money coming in and buying the clubs out again and starting all over. But then you're back in the same. You almost need to get rid of these ASL clubs as we got at the moment and allow the state clubs to come up organically and
yeah.
reach the top. Yeah, maybe not have it for a year and allow the states to, okay, the top three in each state gets to then move up to the new ASL, the new Premier League down under. Um, but yeah, it's good. It's good that the big clubs come out. I mean, we're obviously paying money to bring them out, but it does bring interest in the game. It does give our players a chance to play against some of the best out there. It does increase exposure because you're seeing Wrexham v Melbourne Victory. So somebody may well then go and watch Melbourne Victory the next week after seeing them play Wrexham. So yeah, most advertising's good. Can't say all
Oh,
advertising's good, but
look, don't
most
get me wrong.
advertising.
It will bring eyes onto football and what we produce, but it won't keep those eyes there because there's nothing for the fans really to grasp hold of. Just to give you an example, right? Perth Glory this season have played 24 games and only won 3 of them. All right. Southampton in the Premier League
It's one more than
have won more than, right? And they're touting Southampton as one of the worst teams to play in the Premier League
in the
ever.
history of ever, in the
And in the
history of ever.
meantime,
Yeah.
we've got little old Perth Glory down the back, just
Yeah.
fucking kicking shit and doing the worst job I think I've seen any football team ever. I mean, fucking American Samoa could give these guys a run. Dan Marino could give these guys a run for their money. I mean, it is a fucking shambles right now. And their coach, and this is what gets me, their coach, David Strelick, had the audacity at the start of the season to turn around to all the entire fan base and said, "We're going to do well this season, and if we turn around and we're looking another three win season at the end of the season, I will quit the game." And he hasn't quit.
He's only got how many matches left
He's
before
talking
he
about going again for next season, and all the fans are sitting there just like, "What the fuck? Like it's bad. It is really, really bad."
well, maybe they'll ship out an Eastern team to play them. Maybe the Socceroos will come out. It'll be a practice match for the Socceroos, play Wrexham.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe you'll get like the Northern Territory team come over and help you or something. Play
Yeah, I mean,
instead.
we need something. I mean, 'cause
Adelaide.
at this stage, if it's Perth Glory versus Wrexham, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 13-0
Well,
thumping.
well, think of what you're doing to Wrexham's confidence. If we tell them they're really good and they come out and give them a 13-0 hiding, like, fuck, oh, yeah, we've had a real good pre-season. And the only the only thing I can think of that the timing of this would be affected by is going to be what league we're in. Because I think does the championship start a week later, or is that just the Prem?
It does. So it
And
does start a week later. Yeah.
and so that may then allow them to swap things around a little bit. You know, if we got to come back a week earlier because we're still in League One. Yeah, but I don't think the end is not going to matter in terms of the end of this season because it's you know the only thing that would worry is the promotion party if and when. So you're still going to have a 6 week break or an 8 week break until you come back for your pre-season. You know, so
Yeah. We're
yeah,
going to hijack a few players.
oh, yeah.
Get them
In
down
what do you mean?
the old was it the what's that marathon that that made everyone run where you got to run to and from all these pubs? Can't remember the name of it now.
Oh, oh, Hash House Harriers, that type of thing.
Yeah, you just run a full marathon, but you're stopping every couple of kilometers at a pub to have a
Oh,
pint.
okay. Oh, okay. Right, right.
By the end of it,
You,
you're just plastered. That's my type of marathon, but I
see,
still
problem in
wouldn't run
Melbourne
that.
though.
I
Problem in
still
Melbourne,
wouldn't run.
you only go 2 blocks and there's another pub, so you got to stop there. And okay, all right. So it's not
I still wouldn't
you
run it
only
though.
it's only probably a five k run because
You know,
it's
you
yeah,
know what I would
100
do, right?
meters.
We got these things in Perth. I don't know if you have them in Tassie or over that side of Australia, but the government's got all
Legs.
these scooters, electric scooters, and you can
Mm-hmm.
tag into them on an app, right? That'll be
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
I'll just be like
yep, yep,
straight out of a pub, right? Where's this fucking scooter?
yep, yep,
Jump on the scooter. There you go. I ain't fucking
yep.
running for shit.
With my knees, no, no, no.
Oh dear. Yeah, that'll be my marathon, mate. Just on the old scooter and just yeah. Could you
Mm.
imagine the end of that though? Oh, that'd be messy.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
messy. We'll
Well, I
get the
guess
boys
you've
to
had
win that.
enough when you. There might be a few injuries. You'd rather, yeah, no, I want to send them home safe and sound. So maybe a more sedate drinking game rather than let's try and crash the scooter drinking game.
There's who would you drink with out of the team?
Oh, who would not? Jimmy Mack got to be number one.
Oh, gotta
Andy
be.
Can got to
I
be.
bet you
Andy
he
Cannon,
can
you
fucking
laugh.
drink up a storm. I bet you him and
Yeah.
Scottish Viking Jesus.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just that would be like the perfect drinking session. Because
Had
not
the
only
best
that,
time.
you'd be fully drunk and you'd be trying to figure out what the fuck they're saying.
It's what are you talking about, Cassandra? What are you talking about? we did Scotland before hitting Wrexham, and went to a little town called Aberdour, and just a proper Scottish pub, just outside of Edinburgh, but a proper Scottish pub, and 2, 3 nights in there, and just yeah, the best time, and just fucking hammered. Just pints, you just like yeah, it's like we only like here. I'm used to a glass, not a glass, like a pot, the old 380, and the pints like a pint, like four. You just kept going through. It's like shit. I've had 12 of them already, and suddenly that's 20 pots or 38 pots or whatever the fuck. So, hence the. Yeah, hence the great time. I had the falling over in the head and whatnot. Then ended up in the parish. Saw oh God, the band.
Oh, you saw God at the parish. Yeah, all right, we'll
No,
go
not
with that.
God, the Always Sunny in
It
Wrexham band.
must have
What's
been
the
some good alcohol.
I've forgotten the name. Old man head. Saw them at the parish and then came out and yeah, ended up having a nice gash on the top of their head. So how'd it happen? What I for
Yeah,
too many
yeah.
drinks.
One of the good things about the UK is everyone gets drunk all the time because it's all you do. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I love them for that. I love them. That's where I think the old Aussie spirit, the Aussie drinking comes from. But
Oh,
like in true Aussie fashion, we're like, hold your
hmm.
beer, we're going to outdo you.
Yeah,
And then the
yeah.
Barmy Army comes down and has a bit of fun with us, and
And we got sunshine, and you got to drink a beer in the sunshine, don't you? I
gotta
mean,
drink a beer in the
nothing better
sunshine.
than the cold one. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, we're
And that's
going to
why you
go
got
to
to
a
have them
break.
cold because it's hot.
We're going
Get
to
your
go
beer
to a
cold.
break, and we're going to discuss more about Cryptikconstruct. Because did you know he was a YouTuber as well? Probably still is, but he hasn't showed up on the shows in a while. But we'll get to that. We've got some talking about right after this in our final segment, guys. Hang around if you're enjoying this. Be sure to give it a like, share, and subscribe because this one is a good one. Let's go after the break. Oh, yeah, nah, this is Rousey's Wrexham Roundup. She'll be right, mate. Welcome back to our final segment of the day. I'm here with CryptikConstruct. Mate, so you were on Teach Me How to Wrexham. You gained yourself a regular spot, and then Teach Me How to Wrexham ended up not teaching people how to Wrexham very much anymore. Uh,
No, taking a hiatus. Rand's had some issues come up, some family issues, so we're just having a break. Hoping to be back, but watch this space.
Watch this space, yeah, because it's a good
Watch this space.
informative
Watch
program.
this
I
space.
I liked
Yeah.
the dynamic
Mm.
between yourself and SJ and obviously Ran. I know Ran copped a little bit of shit from me here and there, but we had a bit of fun backwards and
Uh,
forwards. But
it's all a good piss take.
it's
It's all a good
all
laugh,
in good fun.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah.
in good fun. Yeah, I think he was a bit caught aside by how Aussies just really don't give a shit. We're very
Yeah.
carefree.
Yes.
But you were doing that. You've been on there obviously quite a few episodes. You've had quite a few decent guests on. Um, do you have any plans to continue on with social media stuff, or are you just quite happy being on Ask Wrexham's favorite?
Well, I'm on here, and we're waiting to see if I make the cut on Welcome to Wrexham. Oh,
Ah,
season 4 coming out because I had to
spoiler
sign the
alert.
little spoiler. I had to sign the bit of paper. But yeah, so if I see my face on that, I'll be back
There we
if they do
go.
some advertising.
Can
So
you believe it's
yeah, look,
taken this long to get you on our show? Probably
I
should have done
know,
it.
I know. You can have too many Aussies. You don't want to put them all together in a room at one time. You got to,
No, because
because it can be
no
a
one will
bit.
have any idea what the fuck we're talking about.
Like, just say, talk quick, don't the bloody Aussies down
So,
there.
oh dear. But hey, I mean, I think being a content creator for Wrexham is a rather interesting experiment because you look at a lot of your content coming out from the Premier League and you got like literally thousands of watch alongs just for, Manchester United. And for Wrexham, it's still quite a small, tight-knit community. I mean, obviously you got your local pundit, you got myself, you got Rob Ryan Red, you got Fearless and Devotion, Me, the Wife, and Wrexham. And oh, Welsh Beast is back, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you've seen that show, but he's come back. But
Yes.
still, not a lot. Like, still a tight knit community that
The chips. Don't forget the chippies.
eat
To
more
eat more
chips.
chips. Eat more
See,
chips.
okay, now
Yeah.
that's an interesting one. They're
That's
Welsh
not just.
sport as a whole.
Yeah, yeah. It's not
I can't
just. It's
just
not.
classify them as
Yeah,
Wrexham
yeah,
because they do
yeah,
Welsh sport as a whole. But
yeah, yeah,
their podcast is just on another level. I mean,
yeah.
Welsh Techie is amazing. I love the bloke. Had him
And you
on.
know his name too, don't you? You know his real name.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes, I
mean,
do.
just like, yeah.
But
Simon,
we
what's
won't
the
give that
first game?
away.
What's the very first game they teach you in kindergarten?
What's up?
Ah, Simon Says, mate.
Oh, Simon Says. Yeah.
Simon Says. It sets you up, doesn't it? For just, life. It does. Big hint.
So you're pretty happy with your name being Simon then, hey?
Yeah, well, it was going to be George. The old man's George, and his dad's George, and his dad's George, and Mum said, "Fuck off, we're not doing that." So yeah, I'd take Simon.
Have you ever wondered? Some of these footballers have some fucking weird names, man.
Oh,
Some
yeah, yeah,
fucking
yeah,
weird names. Like, how the hell do you fit that on the back of a shirt?
yeah, yeah,
I, but they still
yes.
managed to figure out a way of doing it.
Yeah, I guess
Uh,
that's the C and the Z's and the Y's and the.
yeah,
I grew up.
Armadimovich or some bullshit
Yeah,
like that. I was like,
I grew up in a leafy inner east of Melbourne. The not wealthy, but nice middle class area. And then mum and dad split. We moved to inner west. I'm talking slaughter yards and that. The tanneries and shit were further out. That type of stuff. It was the other end of the scale. And the high school and primary school I went to were close to some of the immigration centres. So we had a lot of the Maltese, a lot of the Italian. So I grew up with football from the European side, so we had all the Slavosevic's and Milosevic's and things like that, the Yugoslav
lots of
waves and the
itches.
lots of itches, and then the Cypriots and the Turks. So there were all the different waves of migrants came through, and they all brought the football with them. And at primary school and high school, it was one of the unifying things, So even the South Americans went to high school with a South American who played soccer, obviously, and he played for maybe one of the Victorian clubs at the time. And so then he wasn't allowed to play for us. So he always played under a different name in the school because the club wouldn't let him play. And then Argentina called him back and said, if you don't come back, and do your Nasho, you can never come back again. So he goes back to his Nasho and like, oh no, you got flat feet, but we want you to play soccer for the fucking army, the army football team, which is why we called you back for 2 years. So yeah.
That's just cheeky.
Isn't it? That's what I thought, you poor bastard.
That's one way to get a
That's right.
free signing, just to inscript national service and be like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
come back here for 2 years and play soccer for the army.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah.
go. That's what we should do that. But, because we don't,
Yeah.
our plethora of talent over here has dried up somewhat. I mean, you don't have your Mark Vidukas and your Harry Kills anymore. Like,
Or are we losing them? Are we losing them overseas a bit earlier and they are gaining that knowledge? But you're right that the pathways seem to be stopping. But I guess Aussie rules take so many because the money's so good.
mm,
Basketball as well, cricket, but there's still a shitload of people. It's still the most popular junior sport.
oh yeah,
So
and
there are still
I'm
people coming
hopeful.
through.
I'm hopeful that we'll do well in the World Cup.
Hmm.
We've shown some
Yeah, yeah,
promise.
yeah.
We've shown
You
some
think we're
promise
going?
and had a very similar build up to the World Cup that we had last year.
Yeah,
So
in
you would
Mexico
think
and Canada.
Australia might be a team to watch in the World Cup again this year. I
Yeah.
mean, we always tend to overachieve in the World Cup. And all the fans get their hopes up, a bit like England. Everyone gets their hopes up, but nothing quite ever comes of it. It's not
God,
quite coming home.
you
It's
see how
almost,
old I am.
it's looking at home.
You see how old I am, yeah?
But
Like this grey hair, all this grey hair, right? And
yeah,
I was born after 1966.
jeez, could you
So,
imagine?
so
Could you
I haven't
imagine?
even seen England win a World Cup, and I'm this old. So,
Oh, I reckon Wales might win a World Cup before England do.
yeah,
Do you
that'd be good to
imagine?
see.
Do you imagine
Oh,
the blood that would fill the street if that happened?
oh, the
Like,
fun that would.
I love the Welsh people are some of my most favorite people in the whole entire
Yeah,
world.
yeah,
Most generous, most proud, but most humble. and they seem to have that balance right. But my gosh, they're passionate about their rugby and their football.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Are you a rugby man? I'm just not a put
nah,
your
I
head
can never
between
get
the
into
legs
it,
and push
eh?
forward and just yeah. No, it's not a.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
up in
nah,
Sydney for
it's
a couple of
fucked.
years and just yeah, no, I just yeah couldn't and yeah, just not into it. And I can see okay, it's a game, but yeah, and then you got the league or the union or the no, no, no wonder
Yeah,
they
too many
invented
different things.
soccer.
Just fuck all that shit
Yeah,
off. Just
yeah,
give me Aussie rules football and give me just good old EFL
world
football.
football. Yeah, soccer. Yeah, yeah. You give me
Happy with
the
that.
round bar, the world game, as Johnny Warren used to call it.
It is the world game. It
Yeah,
is
yeah,
absolutely the world game, and I love it. It
yeah,
brings out more emotions than the Australian rules football does. But
yeah.
the
Oh
Aussie
yeah,
rules football, I think, still has a bit going for it. It's exciting. You get some fucking crunching tackles, and
yeah.
like you get some really specky highlights. But to me, it just doesn't grip you like the
No,
round ball game does.
no. No, I think you know, as a kid, I was more the other way, you know. But I think what it is because there are so many goals, they become less valuable. Yeah, and so being at Charlton and watching two goals go in, or being at Rotherham, 16 seconds, you know, and my sister's turned around the other way, didn't even see it, hadn't even set her ass on the chair, you know. Not that you sit down in the way end, you know, but just one goal in 90 minutes, and okay, it can make a match boring, but it can make it exciting as well when you get the near misses
What was that
and
like going
where
to Wrexham, man? Like I'm going
oh
in
oh
November, but what was that
I'd
like?
never so I got a brother and two sisters, and the big sister lived in London 35 years. Little sister lived in Exeter for 5. Little brother lived overseas there for 4 or 5 years as well. I didn't give a shit. I never went. I didn't have a passport. I didn't care. Never felt like going. And started watching Wrexham, and I got a passport, and I'm there, you know. And it was yeah, one of the best times of my life, I got to say. Yeah, nearly 3 weeks there, met some wonderful people, was in the away end at Rotherham, caught the MH travel bus to Charlton. So I did a proper away trip, whereas Rotherham, we were in the hire car with the sister and brother-in-law. And was SJ there then? I think, yeah, must have been.
Tell me what I want to know is tell me about the first moment where you turned off the motorway, you're turning into Wrexham, and you
Oh,
see
you
the
see the
Cara.
lights.
Yeah.
It just took boom, 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 boom. The heart
Really?
pumped, you know. Oh yeah, yeah. The heart was pumping, mate. And then we're at the premiere, so you know, 100 yards from the you know the turf and the race course, you know. So perfect spot. And yeah, the heart skips a beat. And we saw Huddersfield there, so a 0-0 draw, but I was in the tech end and just I got time of my life, mate. Time of my life, singing away. I had no voice at the end of it. I really didn't. Um, and then Charlton was that the weekend after that, you know, and again, just 2 whole hours of singing in the away end. You know, Manny on the drums, bang, bang, bang. You know, so I got to thank him for his service maybe after Huddersfield. I saw him in the turf, and you know, said thank you. You know, from down under, we hear you banging away. You know, and yeah, and yeah, just great time, great time. Great to be in the turf, great to meet Wayne and who else did I run into? Pollard and Tim and the Longs, you know, it was just, yeah, wonderful time. And people show, you know, as I say, everyone's friendly. Um, I bang head, I'm on the ground and I ended up in A&E and somebody, you know, a Welsh guy found me, put me in his car, took me to the hospital, made sure my sister, you know, was coming on the phone, blah, blah. So, you know, perfect people to look after you.
What happened?
Like that, fuck if I know, mate. Like I was at the parish, had shit like to drink. Next thing I know, I'm in A&E. You know, so I've either hit my head and fell, or fell and hit my head. Either way, hit my head. And yeah, somebody's found me not too far out the parish, I'm assuming, and
Wasn't a
ended up.
Chester fan, was it?
Oh, fuck you. Oh, can I say? Cut this bit out. Chester's fuck. It's pretty. It's got some beautiful buildings. I love the high street. Really nice, but fuck the people. Fuck the club. But the town itself, the Roman walls, the canal, it's a pretty place, I gotta say. But yeah, the story, there's a clock tower, and there's only three sides have clocks because I didn't want the Welsh to see the time. Now, if that's true, and if it's not, either way, yeah. So, and
The
are they
British
dropping
government,
out of
mate,
the?
screwing Wales since 1564.
Before that, how long has it been for a shed load of time?
Jesus.
Longer than they've been screwing over the Aussies. And yeah, ooh. Um,
Yeah, that
so,
too. Let's
mm.
not go down that road.
No, no. But I had a wonderful time in Wales in Wrexham. Yeah, beautiful. Go there. And like I say, I'm hoping to get back, and I've still got a passport. So, that's the only place I ever want to be traveling to again. I don't care about, travel isn't really for me. It's more about, the people you're with. But I'll travel to meet them again.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I definitely cannot wait to get over there. I have a feeling that it's going to be the same for me when you see the Kairos for the first time, and you're just
Yeah.
like, wow, this is something I've been watching for so long, and to be there, especially on a game day as
I,
well. I mean,
what,
oof.
what struck me in person is the grounds are a lot smaller. I've been to the G, 100,000. I've been there where the grand final was 107,000, that type of thing. That because the pitch is a lot smaller, you see the other side a lot more than you do in Aussie rules. And so you're seeing the supporters the sides of the grounds a lot more than you do in a giant oval. Like Optus, you don't really see the other side because it's a shed load away.
Mm.
But with those smaller grounds, it is a lot more intimate and a lot, yeah, just great atmosphere, great atmosphere.
And the sound.
Oh, Tech End and Charlton and same with and Rotherham as well. The away matches were good because you do have 4,000, 5,000, whatever the number is, in that one stand, all boom, pumping out, and yeah, great sound. Whereas, and again at home, the Tech End has that sound because it's got the roof on it. So the singing there was top notch as well. But I didn't do the four walls. It's meant to be quieter because it doesn't have the roof on the cop. But new cop's going up. Yeah,
Yeah, new cop coming
new cop.
coming soon. Start of the 2026 season. They reckon that's going to be ready for. So,
Hmm.
I know myself. I can't wait to get over, and I've got a perfect segue because my Patreon program is they are actually helping us, helping me. It was me and Adrian, but now they're just helping me get over there. Um, they they're a great bunch of people. So I don't know if you know much about Patreon, but it's a monthly subscription service, and I like to give back every single month for that. So we have a
Is this
own.
on top of your OnlyFans, Rousey's OnlyFans account?
Yeah, yep. Yeah,
Ah,
on top of
separate.
that, yeah,
On top of that,
that's
right?
that's separate. That's a different type of audience, So
There's not much commingling between the two, but there
no,
you
no,
go.
we like to keep the perverts separate. So, but no, patreon.com/Wrexham Roundup is my Patreon. Costs you $5 a month, gets you access to fans only Discord, 10% discount off merch, giveaways in the Discord, and your shout out and early access every single week to the podcast.
And get you out of the country.
And it gets me out of the country. That's
Oh,
right. Yeah.
it's a win for everybody, surely.
Yeah, I think that well, I might overstay my welcome in Wales, but we'll see. We'll see if they can handle the Rousey, but I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. So, guys, get involved in that for sure. Just a real quick one. I'm going to give my shout outs for the Patreon program. I've got executive producers, Mad Owl, not PC, Bryant, Welsh Techie, Sarah, and Anthony. You guys paying the top tier program. You get your free piece of merch every 6 months. Some of you are coming up on new piece of merch, which will be the new Rousey's Wrexham Roundup merch. So get in on that. As well as our normies of Rousey's Wrexham Arnie, Drew. I know I haven't said your name for the past couple of weeks, but here we go, Drew, mate. Love ya. Ben, Vicente, Ryan, Neb, Mark, Deandra, Anthony R, John, Jake, the Wrexham Texan, Will, Aaron, and Josh from the local pundit. I love you. Thank you for your support. It means the world. We have good little fun. You want any Patreons?
No, no. I'm
No?
not I mean, I've been in IT, but I'm not much of I'm not
Ah.
much of a social media butterfly. I am trying to get more media socially. So yeah,
Oh, there we
try
go.
and get
There we go. Well, I
another
mean,
app.
it's a good fun. It's a good little community. The local pundit's got a great community as well. A lot of theirs is a different type of pay structure, I believe, because his is a more of a community thing, whereas mine's just tight knit. We have a good little bit of banter. Um, but no, man. I mean, hey,
I'll have a
Wrexham,
look.
it's all happening. We're ready for tonight. What's your prediction?
Oh, 2-0 Wrexham.
2-0 Wrexham away at Blackpool. Now that will be something. That will be something. I'm going to go for the 1-0.
And 1-1 at Wickham.
1-1. Oh, well, then that's just going to make this very interesting.
Mm.
Damn. Well, Cryptic Construct, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for appearing on my podcast, and I think we definitely got to do this again. Us Aussies,
Thank
we've
you
got
for
to
having
stick
me.
together. You know, we love being known. Aussies like being known that we exist. We often get forgotten about down this corner of the globe.
And then little Tasmania at the bottom of Australia too. Don't forget that little
Yeah, I
bit that
know.
looks like a map of Tasmania at the
Yeah,
bottom.
yeah, a
Yep.
map of Tassie. There we go.
A map of Tassie down under.
That's a well, I'm not going to go with that thought. We'll just end that right there. But guys, thank you for joining us. Be sure to check out all the links in the description, and you'll be able to find where I'll even put Cryptic Construct's Twitter down there as well, so you can see when he does. If he does come back with "Teach Me How to Wrexham," you'll be able to see. So, guys, thank you for joining us. See you on the next Rousey's Wrexham Roundup. Bye.